Hey everyone, Noah from the Flatline Company. Just wanted to do an update video on our, version 2 that you might see on our website recently. And I just want to start by saying thank you so much to everyone from the support we received so far. The response to the original version was absolutely incredible, and we've gotten some incredible feedback that we think we've implemented into this new design that I'd love to walk through for you guys. Biggest change that you'll obviously see is instead of the three 10 mil slots, we have two 10 mils, two 3 mils, and one 1 mil slot. That was the biggest feedback I received, is that the third slot is pretty redundant. And we also found out from some people who were testing in the field that the drip clamps happen to fit your IV flushes on the side. So if you really needed an extra slot, that can function there too. The other thing that we kind of saw was that color coding for colorblind friendly for medics and being able to see the colors from every side. So we found a way to implement in a strong way the different colors visible from the top down as well. So when you have a medication in one of those slots, let's say here, it will refract through the syringe to be visible here, but then it can also be visible from any side that you're holding the device if you're kind of recognizing a med there. We also want to address that still label your syringes. This is just supposed to be an adjunct to your current use labels. So some people have those pre-printed versions. I personally also like using some medical tape, and I still mark my medications in addition to here. It just adds another level of redundancy that you can say, hey, my midazolam is marked in the blue or cyan place. So that's the major change you'll see. The version 2 also, the drip clamps are now much beefier, because that was one of the weak points we saw from field use, was that was the most likely parts to break by accident. Other than that, just a bit more refined and easier to use with gloves on. So a larger kind of grab point here for the IV pole holder. The other thing we wanted to address is, in my video, I showed using the needle cap grip here in this kind of handhold, and that's not really how the device is usually held. And it's, we want to advocate that, recapping meds is not safe, especially if your hand's nearby. So obviously we'll put it in here, and I want to show you how most of the time in the field we've seen people use it. So generally speaking, the MedicMate's either attached to your belt or onto a strap on a bag, or it's onto like a clamp, like our quick clamp here. So, kept on your belt on the side or in a pocket. So if you're on a pocket or in a bag, you from the top down with one hand, let's say this is a heavier bag, you can kind of support the needle cap in, it'll hold it. When you pull it out, now you can do whatever you need with your sharp, draw your medication. And if you do happen to need to recap it, obviously the ideal method is to single use. You draw your med and you administer it. You can keep your hand away when you're giving the medication, or sorry, putting the cap back on into the MedicMate, and a single hand to be able to twist it off to move to an IV medication if you need to. And that's kind of the main use case we've seen in the field from here. So it's safer than having to do, the classic in the back of a truck like that. You can leave it on a table too, but this is just ultimately a bit of a better option. Park it in, do your drawing. Your hand's always going to be far away from the sharp, even when you're recapping, and then you can kind of pull it out and put it back into the MedicMate. Same thing can go for the belt version there. We also want to show, the main use case that we see now, which is, it on the IV bag. So in the back of the truck, we'll have our, IV bag hung in our IV pole. And, you might be trying to give an infusion of, let's say, dopamine for a post-ROSC patient. And you're trying to watch this roller clamp medicine, we call it, in the back of a moving truck, which these are not designed for. So what's great about the MedicMate is that these IV drip clamps now can grab on nice and satisfying there, and then you can place them on the back of your IV pole or onto the back of the head of the stretcher or any other handle. To be honest, you feed that around the back, and then you pull through here, hold it tight against whatever here because of the soft kind of TPU. Parks it here. It's going to hold everything nice and tight. You can see your drip rate, and then if you have medications, so let's fill up here the MedicMate for here. You park one in there, and let's say you had a 3 mil in here as well. You're giving your IV, and usually these kind of white flushes is just normal saline in a 10 mil flush. When you're kind of confirming your IV, these get kind of disposed of. But, now we have a feature for them where if you park it into one of these hexagon slots on the side of the MedicMate or the top, and you throw this out after you've done it, you leave it here. Let's say I have midazolam I want to give to a patient, and we're in the back of the moving truck. Normally what I would do is take off this cap and lose it, if I'm being honest with myself. Now you can kind of take it, reverse lure lock it onto here, bring your IV lock from your bag up to the MedicMate, clean the hub obviously, twist it in while it's still on the MedicMate, leave it in the spot. As long as this is open, you can give your aliquot of a medication, and then just remove it. Take your medication tip and replace it back onto your syringe, and it never has to leave the device. That's kind of the main benefit, is especially when you're running multiple medications, it can all kind of stay with your IV bag hung. Those are the main changes we've made. We love the feedback. So obviously we've done the same thing for the, make it sure we can compare here. This is the original MedicMate, kind of the land ambulance kind of version that we see the most use case for. The MedicMate Pro, which is great for, we've heard feedback from our flight care paramedic friends that the 20 mil slots, 2 10 mils, and a 3 mil is what they are using a lot, because they're using RSI, so intubating patients. They use a lot of propofol and induction agents, and they're usually held in bigger syringes. And the form factor is a bit larger, which is okay for the flight guys and girls, is that they're, they usually put these on a hard point. So they'll mount it onto an IV pole or onto their monitor, and it doesn't really move. Vice versa, we have the smaller form factor MedicMate Mini, which is kind of like a pocket edition, which is just great to kind of hold if you have something that's a little bit smaller form factor than this you want to keep on your belt for your 10 mil, 3 mil, and your 1 mil. Still has that needle cap grabber, but no back plate there for the IV pole. And that's kind of all we have to go through today. We're continually making adjustments and, getting feedback from different services. And we love to see that. And we want to hear more. You guys have any further ideas, you please let me know. And, please visit the website. You can make some orders. We've got custom colors, as you can see. So, that nice blacked out version here, or a red, or the kind of the tactical green color version there. And if you have any feedback, you let us know. Please like and subscribe and share the video, and stay in tune. We've got some more fun stuff coming down the road.